guys, welcome to another episode of Totally Inspired with me, Sibo Dube. If you are new to this channel, this is a channel where we focus on all things lifestyle and all things leadership. Well, today's video will be a lifestyle video, and I'm so excited because this video speaks to a lot of people, and I know that you'll identify with something in this video. Well, today's topic is on 5 most insensitive questions to ask. So you stay tuned and don't go away, as you are going to hear some very interesting things around this topic. But for now, I'd like you to remember to press the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and give me a huge thumbs up if you like this video. And of course, I've got other videos that I've been posting. Please do go back to my profile and have a look at some of those videos. For now, please let us listen to our jingle. Please don't mind the birds outside. These are Hadidas having a good afternoon and enjoying the environment that they're in.
Hello queens, hello phenomenal women, hello inspirational women. This is your girl Sibo Dube. Welcome to Totally Inspired, a channel where we talk all things leadership and all things lifestyle. Before we get started, please hit the notification bell and the subscribe button, because you don't want to miss out on this content which has been created with you in mind, so you can enjoy a full life, because girl, you deserve it.
So question number 1. One of the most insensitive questions that you could ever ask anybody is if they are gaining weight. Well, why do you want to know if I am gaining or losing weight? Now, this is a very sensitive question, especially to us women, and I'm sure men also find it a bit insensitive when they are asked this question. Are you gaining weight? First of all, it's important to understand that gaining weight is not always about somebody being overindulgent or being lazy. There are a lot of reasons as to why anybody could gain weight. Firstly, it could be somebody could have suffered an injury and is not able to be as active as they would desire to. Secondly, there are some medical conditions that will make somebody gain weight no matter how much they try to lose it. And finally, linked to that, there is also medication that people take that can actually make them gain weight. I know for a fact that women have some contraceptives that they take, which sometimes out of their control will make them gain weight. So before you say to somebody, are they gaining weight? Before you ask them if they're gaining weight, please be sensitive and think about some of the reasons that I've just shared with you. Of course, there are better ways in which you could actually handle something of that nature. Firstly, it's also an issue of whether this person has approached you before and spoken to you about their desire to lose weight. Then, if that is the case, maybe it is okay for you to be able to have that conversation with them. Also, it's also an issue about how close you are to this person, how much you share things that can be viewed as sensitive. When you observe that somebody is gaining weight, you would rather wait for them to raise that with you, and your response should be nothing but encouraging and positive, so that you do not break their feelings or make them feel some type of way. So be careful next time when you do observe that somebody has gained a few kilos, especially after this time of lockdown and quarantine. People have handled it in very different ways, and we should be sensitive to how we address issues of weight gain. Another insensitive question that people tend to ask, especially to newlyweds, is when are you going to have a baby? Remember that the issue of having a baby is a decision between somebody and their significant other. That means, first of all, it really isn't much of your business, if I might be as that blunt. Secondly, it's important to be aware that sometimes people have very valid reasons as to why they're not having children at the time that in your timetable or timeline or milestone you think they should be having children. Firstly, people generally may be having a genuine challenge of conceiving. At that time, you don't know what is happening behind the scenes, and there you are blurting out a very insensitive question as, when are you going to have a baby? According to whose timeline? Secondly, some people just choose not to have children. The world has become that different in the sense that some couples would either delay having children before they actually feel financially stable to afford a child. Others, for whatever reason, will decide that they completely do not want to have any children. That is their choice. And when or how and if not is really not of anyone's concern or business. It is a very insensitive question to ask. And then finally, there are people who always assume that if a couple has a child, then automatically it means they can have another child and another and so forth. Well, it might surprise you to know that having a first child does not necessarily mean that a couple will be able to have another child after that. So people are sometimes insensitive enough to even ask and say, when are you having your next child? Because they've seen that the couple has had one child already. What if that couple has decided that they only want to have one child? And secondly, what if they're battling to have a second child? So let's be more aware of some of these things, because we insensitively ask this type of questions not knowing what people are going through. People are going through the most when it comes to conceiving. People are trying and maybe sometimes are not able to conceive. And besides, may I emphasize, having a child is not something that needs opinions of other people. It is a private matter between two people. So if you've been that person that's been asking somebody when they're going to have their next child, or you know of a couple that's newly wedded and you are pressing them to have a child, maybe it's time to think again. And I know in our African cultures, many times we do tend to put pressure on newlyweds. I think times are changing now. We need to be more sensitive to that type of question. When people reach a certain age, there is always expectation from family and society at large that they should be getting married. I know ladies start to freak out when they reach age 30 because apparently there is something about turning 30 that makes women to start feeling a bit, some type of way about not being married. But the nice thing is that women are becoming more and more less frightened about not being married by a certain age, because there's so much that today's woman focuses on before she even gets married. Some like to make sure that they're financially secure before they get married or commit to a marriage. Others want to make sure they attain academic goals before they get married. After all, one lady once said that marriage is not an achievement. So the question around when someone is getting married is quite insensitive, because you don't know what the life goals of this person are, what it is that they're focusing at the time being, and who knows whether they want to get married. I know for a lot of Christian women, it's about waiting on God for the right man to come along. So it shouldn't be an issue of being pressurized by society or family. Let's be more sensitive again when it comes to that question. There are so many reasons that people are not married at the time that you think they should be married. It's not about you. It's about them, their plans, and what it is that they believe in about marriage. Then there's the question of, are you pregnant? Now, that is really something that one should be very careful about asking. What if the answer is no? Already you have insinuated that that person looks a certain way that makes you think that they're pregnant. It's important to understand that as women, we are very sensitive to anything that insinuates that we are overweight or look a certain way. Our body shape or body image is very important to us. If you ask somebody a question like, are you pregnant? Even if they are pregnant, why don't you wait for them to tell you? So if that person is not pregnant, it really is a very insensitive and embarrassing question to ask, because how then do you carry on with your conversation after having found out that this person is not pregnant? Hence, it is important when it comes to such an issue that you wait for the person to tell you. Until then, you just need to keep quiet. Another question that I've often had being asked, especially to women of color and women of African origin, is the question, is that your real hair? Well, maybe if it's woman to woman, it's just the two of you in a little corner, and you really are curious about the hairstyle, it's a little bit better. But if it's asked in a public place where there are other people around, then that's a bit of an insensitive question, because it says a lot about the nature of that person's beauty or their hair. Hair is a very sensitive issue, and issues of beauty and image are very sensitive. So when you choose to ask or are curious about a lady's hair or their hairstyle, make sure that one, you've got the right rapport with them, and make sure that you ask that question where it's just a matter of the two of you having a conversation, not in a public environment. If it turns out it's extensions, then can you imagine what that does? How does she respond to you? So let's be careful when it comes to the question of, is that your real hair? Because it has the potential to embarrass somebody and make somebody feel uncomfortable if it's in a place where there are other people listening. So that's it from me today, and I hope you enjoyed these tips, or let me say, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you're going to do a self-check and just look back at some of these questions that I put across and check whether you've said them to somebody or asked somebody, and think about it next time so that you're more sensitive to people when you ask questions that are of a personal nature. Well, today I'm so excited that I am going to be giving a prize to one of the most engaging supporters of this channel, somebody that has been watching each and every video and sending their comments. I thought I should just surprise them. So here I have a package. This package I'm going to send out, or I'm going to give it to this lady because I know she's been supporting me. And thank you so much, Gogi, for always watching the videos and putting your comments in there. Well, keep watching, keep commenting. You never know, I could surprise you with one of these. Until next time, take care and God bless.
So there you have it, queens. Hope you had been inspired by today's video and that you'll go out and be more and do more, because you deserve a full life. Before you go, remember, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of this inspiring content, and do share my link with your circle of queens. Until next time, keep inspiring.